Artificial intelligence demystified.
So picture this. You're in a vendor demo. They're showing you this AI assistant. It's pulling live data. It's updating records. It's sending emails, all from a chat window. And someone in the room asks how it actually works. And the vendor says, and I quote, "The model uses function calling to interface with your downstream systems." And everyone just nods, including me. I nodded, confidently.
You had no idea what they meant.
Zero. But I was not going to be the one to ask.
That term is function calling. And by the end of this episode, you'll not only know what it means, you'll know the one question that makes a bad vendor very uncomfortable.
Let's go.
Okay, before we get to function calling, we need one quick concept. Tool use. Because function calling is the mechanism inside tool use. And if you don't have tool use, function calling has nowhere to live.
What's tool use?
So, out of the box, an AI model is basically working from memory. It was trained on a huge amount of text, and when you ask it something, it generates an answer from that. But it can't check today's stock price. It can't look up your customer record. It can't send an email. Tool use is the ability to reach outside that memory and actually do something in the real world. Check a live database, run a calculation, trigger a workflow.
So without tool use, it's just talking.
Exactly. It's very smart, but it's trapped in its own head. Tool use is what gives it hands.
Okay. So what's the difference between tool use and function calling? They sound like the same thing.
Tool use is the capability. The idea that the AI can reach out and act. Function calling is the specific mechanism that makes it happen. It's how the AI signals, precisely and formally. I need to use a tool right now, and here's exactly what I need it to do. Hold on to that. Because function calling is what happens when tool use gets specific. So, function calling. Plain English definition first. Function calling is the way an AI model formally requests an action from an external system. Look up a customer record, book a meeting, trigger a workflow. By sending a structured instruction that the external system can understand and execute.
Structured instruction. What does that mean exactly?
It means the AI isn't just saying, "Hey, can you check the database?" in natural language. It's producing something much more precise. A formatted request that names the function, specifies the inputs, and is formatted in a way the receiving system can act on without guessing. Think of it like the difference between telling someone, "Get me a coffee," versus handing them a written order that says, "Flat white, oat milk, large, no sugar, table 7.
Right. One leaves room for error.
Exactly. Now, the analogy I want to use here is a doctor. A doctor can diagnose a problem and decide what needs to happen next. But they can't personally run the blood test, dispense the medication, or book the specialist appointment. Instead, they write a precise, standardized request. A prescription, a referral form. And hand it to the right person. The pharmacist fills the prescription. The lab runs the test. The doctor never touches the equipment. Function calling works exactly the same way. The AI writes the precise request. A separate system carries it out.
Huh. So the AI is never actually, it's not in the database.
Never. It produces the request. Something else executes it.
And look. Does the analogy hold all the way?
Good instinct. It breaks in one important place. A pharmacist is a human. They can read a prescription and say, "Hang on, this doesn't look right," and refuse to fill it. In most function calling implementations, the external system just executes. There's no pharmacist pausing to check, unless someone deliberately builds that in.
Which brings me to... Okay, this might sound like a dumb question.
Go for it.
If the AI is just writing a request and not actually doing anything, who's checking that the request is safe before it gets executed?
That is exactly the right question. And the honest answer is, it depends entirely on how the system was built. And in a lot of early implementations, nobody is checking automatically. The AI can be constrained to a pre-approved list of functions. But whether there's a human approval step, an audit log, a guardrail before execution, that is a deliberate architectural choice, and one that a lot of teams haven't made carefully yet.
Wait, so it could just go and do things?
If it's built that way, yes.
I did not know that. I assumed there was always something checking.
Most people do. That assumption is worth losing.
Okay, let me try this. Function calling is how an AI actually gets things done. Like, instead of just answering a question, it reaches out and triggers something in another system. It writes an instruction, hands it off, and something else does the work.
That's close. Here's the version you steal. Function calling is how an AI model reaches out and gets things done in the real world. Not by doing the work itself, but by issuing a precise, structured instruction to another system that can. Think of it as the AI writing the order slip. Something else fills the order.
I'm writing that down.
Good, because the order slip part is the bit people miss. The AI is never the one filling the order. Here's your scenario. A vendor is pitching an AI assistant that will automatically update your CRM, send follow-up emails, and pull live data from your ERP. All from a single chat interface. That is an agent built on function calling. Before you approve a sent, you need to know which systems it can touch, under what conditions, and what stops it from doing something it shouldn't.
So what's the one question I ask?
Tell me about a time when a function call in your system triggered an action a customer didn't intend, and how you caught it.
Oh, that's uncomfortable.
For a bad vendor, yes. A good vendor has a story, a post-mortem, and a fix. A bad vendor either says it's never happened, which means they haven't looked, or they go very quiet.
Next time someone says function calling in a demo, I'm not nodding. I know what the order slip is now.
Next episode. MCP, the emerging standard that's trying to do for AI tools what USB did for hardware. And it changes everything we just covered.
See you then.